Walk into any grocery store in America and you'll see the same word everywhere: ramen. It's on foam cups, it's on brick noodles, it's on premium bowls with glossy packaging and a photo of a perfect swirl of noodles like it came straight out of Tokyo. And the problem is, most of it isn't ramen. Most of it is flavored salt water poured over noodles, a convenience product that uses the word ramen the way a fast food place uses the word grill. It sounds real, it feels real, and it's close enough that nobody questions it. But if you've ever eaten a bowl and thought, why does this taste amazing for 5 minutes? And then weirdly empty? Or why do the noodles turn to mush the second I look away? Or why does every tonkotsu taste like the same creamy powder no matter the brand? Yeah, that's the gap. So today we're counting down 5 fake instant ramens, the products that are the furthest from what ramen is supposed to be. And quick disclaimer before the comments explode, I'm not saying these are the worst foods on earth. Some of them are delicious. Some of them are iconic. Some of them probably kept you alive in college. I'm saying they're fake ramen because they don't meet the basic architecture of ramen. Here's the simplest way to define real ramen without being a snob. Number 1, the broth has an identity. Shoyu tastes like shoyu. Miso tastes like miso. Tonkotsu has body and depth. It's not just salty, spicy beige liquid. Number 2, the noodles have structure. There's chew, there's bounce. They don't dissolve into soft sadness at minute 3. Number 3, the flavor feels layered umami, fat aromatics. Something that tastes like it had a process behind it, not just a flavor packet doing all the work. If an instant ramen misses all 3, that's not ramen. That's a branding costume. We're going from number 5 to number 1, and the brands we're talking about are the ones you see everywhere. Top Ramen Maruchan Cup Noodles, Nongshim's Tonkotsu Bowl, and Samyang Buldak. And stay until the end, because even if you don't stop eating any of these, I'm going to give you 5 label tricks and 3 quick upgrades that instantly make almost any bowl taste less fake. Like what to look for on the ingredients panel, how to stop noodles from going mushy, and how to add real depth without turning dinner into a 45-minute project. Alright, let's start the countdown. Fake number 5 is the one you've eaten 100 times, and probably never questioned once. Fake number 5 is Nissan Top Ramen, the dorm room baseline. The one that's so common it barely even feels like a brand. It feels like a category. And look, I'm not pretending I'm above it. Top Ramen has saved people. It's cheap, it's fast, it's always there, and when you're hungry at 1 a.m., it tastes like relief. But as ramen, this is the blueprint for fake. Because the broth isn't really broth. It's a flavor packet, a tight little mix of salt, seasoning, and aroma that turns hot water into something that smells like food. For the first few sips, your brain goes, okay, ramen. And then almost immediately you hit that hollow wall where the flavor is loud but shallow. It doesn't have a style, it doesn't have identity. It's just salty chickenish or beefish the way a snack chip is barbecue-ish. And the noodles, Top Ramen noodles, are designed to do one job: rehydrate fast. Not chew like ramen. Not bounce. Just soften quickly so you get a bowl in minutes. That's why if you cook it even slightly too long, it doesn't just get softer, it collapses. You lose structure, you lose texture, and suddenly you're eating noodles that feel like they're melting. Real ramen noodles at minimum are built around texture. They're meant to stay firm even when they sit in broth. Instant noodles like Top Ramen are built around speed. So here's why it earns fake number 5 instead of ranking higher. It's not trying to cosplay as something premium. It's not pretending to be a ramen shop. It's honest about what it is: cheap, fast noodles with a packet. But if your definition of ramen is a bowl with noodles and hot, savory liquid, Top Ramen will keep winning. If your definition of ramen is broth identity plus noodle structure plus layered flavor, Top Ramen is exactly what fake ramen looks like at its most basic. And the next one is almost the same idea, except the marketing makes it feel like you're getting something better. Fake number 4 is Maruchan Ramen, the other half of America's instant noodle childhood. If Top Ramen is the dorm staple, Maruchan is the I grew up on this staple. It's in corner stores, discount aisles, big box stores everywhere. And because it's everywhere, people treat it like it must be legitimate. Like it's the default version of ramen. But Maruchan is basically the same core design philosophy as top ramen speed. First shelf life, second ramen, third. Let's start with the broth. What you're drinking isn't a broth with a style. It's a seasoning system. It's engineered to hit your tongue, hard, salt, savory aroma, a little sweetness, sometimes a faint pepper note, so your brain registers hot comfort. But it doesn't land as shoyu. It doesn't land as miso. It doesn't land as tonkotsu. It lands as instant noodle flavor. And that's why it's fake ramen, because real ramen has a point of view. Even cheap ramen has a point of view. There's a style, a direction, a reason the soup tastes the way it tastes. Maruchan tastes like it was designed by a committee whose only goal was make it broadly liked, make it impossible to hate, make it work with hot water. Now the noodles. Maruchan's noodles are the classic instant brick. They hydrate fast, they soften fast, and they punish you fast if you miss the timing. 1 minute too long, and the texture goes from noodles to wet string. And here's the subtle trick, because Maruchan is so cheap and so familiar, people don't eat it slowly. They eat it like a snack, which means they never notice how quickly the noodles deteriorate in the bowl because they're already halfway done before the texture collapses. So why is Maruchan ranked worse than top ramen? Because the branding and cultural footprint make it feel like it's the real thing. It's not just instant noodles, it's ramen in the American imagination. And that false confidence keeps people from realizing they've been using the word ramen to describe something that's really a different category. Now, fake number 3 is where the format changes because this one isn't even designed around a bowl. It's designed around a container. Fake number 3 is Nissan Cup noodles. And this one is fake ramen for a completely different reason. Top Ramen and Maruchan are at least pretending you're making a bowl. Cup noodles isn't built for a bowl, it's built for a desk. A cup noodles meal is engineered around one idea: hot food anywhere with zero effort. You don't need a pot, you don't need a bowl, you don't even need a stove. All you need is hot water and the patience to wait 3 minutes while your life stays exactly as chaotic as it was before you ate. That's the genius of it. But it's also the reason it's fake ramen. Because when the container is the product, the eating experience changes. Cup noodles isn't designed to give you broth identity and noodle structure. It's designed to give you instant comfort, a warm, salty, savory hit. You can drink and slurp while you're doing something else. That's why the broth tends to be more one note. It's not trying to taste like a specific ramen style. It's trying to taste like this is hot and comforting and familiar. It's the edible version of background music. It fills the space. It doesn't demand attention. And the noodles are optimized the same way: fast hydration, soft texture, minimal resistance. In a real ramen bowl, the noodles are supposed to fight back a little. In cup noodles, the noodles are designed to surrender. Now add in the other thing. Cup noodles is famous for those tiny dehydrated bits: corn peas, carrot cubes, mystery protein pieces. They're not there because they make it authentic. They're there because they make it feel like a meal. They create the illusion of variety and substance without actually building a ramen structure. Because ramen isn't random toppings and hot water. Ramen is a system broth-style noodle texture and aromatics working together. Cup noodles is not a ramen system. It's a portable soup gadget. And that's why it lands at number 3. It's not just fake because of shortcuts. It's fake because the entire product is designed around convenience first and ramen second. Now, fake number 2 is where things get dangerous. Because this next one is actually good. Like, why does this taste so good? And that's exactly why people get fooled. Fake number 2, Nongshim Tonkotsu Ramen Bowl. Fake number 2 is Nongshim Tonkotsu Ramen Bowl, and I need to say this clearly. This is the one that makes people argue in the comments because it's good. Not good for instant noodles, just good. Creamy. Savory. Comforting. The kind of bowl where you take the first sip and think, wait, why does this feel like tonkotsu? And that's the trap, because what you're tasting is a simulation, an engineered version of tonkotsu built for speed. Real tonkotsu is an obsession. It's bones and time. It's fat and collagen. It's hours of boiling and skimming and reducing until the broth develops real body like it's almost thick enough to cling to the noodles. Instant tonkotsu can't do that. Not in a cup, not in 3 minutes. So what does it do instead? It uses the industrial shortcut playbook, concentrated seasoning fats and oils for richness, emulsifiers and stabilizers to hold the creamy effect and flavor compounds that create the illusion of pork depth, even when there's no long cook behind it. And to be fair, Nongshim does this better than most. That's why it's dangerous. It's convincing. But if you use our 3 real ramen standards from the intro, this bowl still fails the ramen test in a very specific way. The broth has the vibe of tonkotsu, but not the architecture. It's creamy, but it doesn't have that layered progression you get from actual ramen shops, the slow building depth, where the fat, salt, and umami feel like they came from a real process, not a packet strategy. It's like the difference between a movie set and a real street. From the right angle, it looks real, but the second you try to live in it, you notice what's missing. And here's the other giveaway, the bowl format. Forces compromises. The noodles have to rehydrate fast. The soup base has to dissolve cleanly. Everything has to work with boiling water and a timer. So even when it tastes great, it's still ramen cosplay, tonkatsu aesthetic without tonkatsu reality. Which is exactly why it lands at number 2. It's the most convincing fake on the list. But fake number 1 is different. Fake number 1 isn't fake because it's trying to imitate ramen. It's fake because it's not even the same kind of dish. And yet, it gets called ramen constantly. Fake number 1 is Samyang Buldak. And this is where the argument usually gets personal because a lot of people don't just like buldak. They love it. It's viral. It's addictive. It's a whole internet culture. 2 times spicy challenges, reaction videos, spice flexes. Buldak isn't just food, it's a badge. And I'm not here to pretend it's not good. Buldak is one of the best instant noodle products on the planet. But that's exactly the point. It's an amazing instant noodle dish that gets mislabeled as ramen. Because ramen at its core is a broth and noodle system. The soup is the identity. The noodles are built to live in that soup. The aroma, fat, and umami are designed for a bowl that you sip and slurp. Buldak is not that. Buldak is basically Korean spicy stir-fry noodles, a sauce-first dish. The star isn't the broth. The star is the heat. The sweetness, the savory depth of the sauce, and the way the noodles carry it. That's why people don't talk about the broth in buldak. They talk about the sauce, the burn, the flavor, the mouthfeel. And that's also why it breaks the ramen definition test from part 1. Broth identity. It's not a broth product. Noodle structure. Yes, buldak noodles usually hold up better than dorm brands. Layered umami. Absolutely. But it's built like a sauce dish, not a ramen bowl. So why is it ranked as the most fake ramen on the list? Because it's the product that proves how meaningless the word ramen has become in everyday grocery language. People use ramen as a shorthand for instant noodles, and buldak is one of the biggest reasons that shorthand sticks because it's so popular that it drags the whole category name with it. In other words, if you call everything ramen ramen, stops meaning anything. Buldak wins as its own thing. It just doesn't win as ramen. And now that we've burned down the 5 fakes, here's the payoff. I promised 5 label tricks and 3 quick upgrades that instantly make almost any bowl taste less fake without turning you into a ramen chef. Alright, here's the part that actually changes how you eat this stuff. Because even if you keep buying top ramen Maruchan cup noodles, Nongshim tonkotsu bowls, or buldak, you can still make smarter choices and make the bowl taste less fake with a few rules. 5 label tricks to spot it in 10 seconds checklist. Trick number 1, if the broth is only powder, expect a one-note soup. Powder can be tasty, but it's usually built for punch, not depth. Trick number 2, fried noodle bricks almost always go mush faster. If you want texture, your best move is controlling cook time, because the noodle is designed to soften quickly. Trick number 3, tonkotsu on the front doesn't mean tonkotsu in the bowl. If the ingredients read like powder plus oil plus emulsifiers, you're getting tonkotsu vibes, not tonkotsu architecture. Trick number 4, Watch sodium like it's a flavor tax. When sodium is sky high, it usually means the product is relying on salt to replace complexity. Trick number 5. Look for signals of noodle intention. Thicker noodles, straight noodle shapes, and anything that stays springy longer usually gets you closer to ramen texture. 3 quick upgrades. No chef cosplay required upgrade number 1. Add acid plus aroma. A splash of rice vinegar or lemon plus scallions instantly makes packet soup taste less flat. Upgrade number 2. Add real umami. A spoon of miso, a few drops of sesame oil, or even a soft-boiled egg turns flavor water into something with body. Upgrade number 3. Fix the texture. Undercook noodles by 30 to 45 seconds, then let them finish in the broth. Texture improves immediately. The rule of thumb: if it's powder broth plus mush noodles, it's fake ramen. If it has broth identity plus noodle chew plus layered umami, it's at least trying. Now I want to hear from you. Which one on this list do you still love anyway, and I won't judge? And what instant ramen do you eat weekly? Drop it in the comments, and I'll tell you if it's ramen or just instant noodles wearing the ramen name.